Okay, boys and girls, we are going to start our city perspective project, and the first thing we need to do is start with a white piece of paper, a pencil, a ruler, and there's some little square tracers at your table. We'll use those in just a minute. The first thing I'm going to do in the middle of my paper is I need to create that thing called a vanishing point. Remember, the vanishing point is the point where all the buildings sort of look like they're vanishing into, or meaning they're going into this space and kind of disappearing into this space. That's why we call it the vanishing point. Everything is vanishing into this point. So I'm just going to put that in the middle of my paper. It doesn't have to be perfect. Anywhere will do. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the square tracers from my little cup at my table, and I'm going to trace at least 10 squares around the vanishing point. They could be close, they could be far away, it doesn't matter. So I'll take different sizes of squares and just start to trace them on each side, and I really want to make sure that I'm going slow so that I get each side of this square. Okay, there's one. I can try a bigger one. And I can try a different size here, maybe more of a rectangle shape. So I'm just going to create about 3 or 4 just to show you the process here, and then we'll start the next step. I'm going to do one more on the outside. I think I'll do one more right over here on the very outside. Okay, let's pretend I've traced at least 10 squares for at least 10 tops of the buildings. Now what I need to do is take my ruler, and we're going to practice this idea of perspective. I need to make sure that all of the points, the corner points of all the squares, go straight into the vanishing point with a straight line. So I'm just going to start with this building top square right here, and I can even make a little dot on each of the corners to help myself remember. And I'm just going to start always with the corner point that is closest to the vanishing point. So it looks like this one right here is closest. These two are a little bit farther away. So I need to put my ruler on the vanishing point and on the corner of my square. So I have to line it up first with this point, and then I need to make sure I see that point, making sure they're both on the ruler. I can see them poking out a little bit. Now I need to put a thumb and a finger on my ruler, and I like to put them really wide so that it holds the ruler down. Then I can take my pencil straight up and down and make a straight line. So that's the first line of my building. Now I need to go to the next point that's closest to the vanishing point, and that looks to me like it's this one. So I'll put my ruler on this point and the vanishing point at the same time, and I can see them both. Finger and thumb are nice and wide. Take my pencil, I need to make sure it's straight and tall like this so I can make a straight line and go right into the vanishing point. Okay, I'm almost done. Now it looks like this point is next because it's the next closest, so I need to put this point and the vanishing point on the same line. Straight line with my ruler. Okay, so I can see 2 sides now of this building. Now the last rule here is that this point in the back never goes to the vanishing point, and here's why. If I put this on the vanishing point and I put this point on my ruler and I made a straight line, watch what happens. Now this building looks like it's kind of see-through, and that's really not what we want. We want this shape to look like it's a solid shape. So I'm going to erase that. The rule here is if a point lines up with the vanishing point, but there's something in my way when I'm trying to make my line, like for example this line is blocking me. If something is blocking me, I can't go through it. Then it will be see-through. I just have to make that point on its own, and it's not going to go to the vanishing point. So this building is done. I can go to my next building now and then start those, and then start this one, and then build out from there. But what I really want to show you is what happens when you have a building that is farther away than a closer building. We have to do something called overlap. So let's say I'm starting with this building now, and I want to make all these points go to the vanishing point. Let's check out this closest point here, line it up with the vanishing point. Now something is happening here. When I try to make this straight line, something is blocking me, and that is this building that is in front. So I'm going to go until I hit that building, and I'm going to stop, because I want this building to look like it's behind this building. So I'm not going to go through it, I'm going to stop. Now I'm going to go to the next point here in front, line it up with the vanishing point, go until I hit that building and stop. I don't want it to run into the next building. Now look at these 2 points back here. Line it up. There's something blocking me. That's this building. So I don't do this line at all. And this one right here, something blocking me, I don't do this line at all, okay? So that building is done too. Sometimes they'll only have 2 lines that go to the vanishing point. That means I can't see this side of the building. I can only see this side. So this building has 2 sides I can see because it's more at an angle. This building only has 1 because it's more straight. Okay, let's do one more here and then I'm gonna have you start yours. Let's try this building. Put a little dot on the points. Line them up, straight line. Straight line. Let's try this one. Looks like there's something blocking me. I can't do that one. And this one, something blocking me. I can't do that one. So this building only has 2 points. Okay. Now, as you start to do all your buildings, you'll notice that a lot of the buildings will only have 2 points. I can only see one side. But a lot of the buildings will have 3 points that go, and you can see 2 sides, 2 sides, 2 sides. So later we'll talk about what kind of details you can put on the sides of the buildings, like windows and shading to make a shadow and things on top. But right now your goal is to just make sure all the buildings look like they're in the correct perspective going to the vanishing point.